I think our live performances are always, enthusiastic and exciting and entertaining. As far as anything else goes, I think it's a heavy dose of cynicism has ended our lives, but I think that happens with most British bands. Only American bands sort of keep going, saying, hey, yeah, I'm having a great time, how do you feel? And British bands are always prone to introspection, I think.
I mean, in that Metallica video when Jason Newsted goes, oh, the bass playing did a lot for my personal self-esteem and self-worth, I feel a good person. Like a British person would never say that. I mean, never, it just would not enter his head, you just feel too silly. I think that's the problem all British bands have got, really. They take a piss at themselves too much. So what we do all day, and sort of most of the people can't understand that.
One thing about us is that when we set so many things at the start, we still think we've got so much to fulfill, musically, artistically, and commercially, I suppose.
Lyrically.
All those things we've yet to fulfill totally, so it's always something driving you on.
I think the only integrity should be your songs and your lyrics, and everything else is just, like, not worth worrying about. I mean, the minute you sign a record contract, there's going to be aspects of your life that you are disappointed with.
I mean, we've done interviews with Nobby the Sheep. You can't retain much integrity when you do things like that, but you just think, well, there's no point being snobbish about these things.
With the record company, we decided we wanted to do the album, where we wanted to do it, what the single should be, and I think that's all that matters, really. I think it's worrying if a band gets dictated to a record company about who they use, what they sound like, what clothes they got to wear. I think that's when your integrity is really shattered. Everything else, I'm not really worried about, but the day they start doing that...
Every bit of music and every lyric and every bit of artwork is always controlled by us, and that's where our integrity lies.
Nothing else matters.
Sometimes you see a lot of perfection and contentment in very simple lives where you come from. People are genuinely happy gardening or, totally simple pleasures. I just think there's such an old generation now that I find every young person seems to be very ill at ease with that sort of lifestyle. It doesn't seem to have the discipline.
In the last 3-4 months, there's been so much criticism of Philip Larkin, in the liberal media, just condemning him completely as a person. I think he's a fantastic man. I think his life was absolutely, fantastic. And if I could have had that sort of lifestyle, I would have chosen that over being in a band any day. I think he's like a genius, and I think he found the most satisfactory form of life.
To say that it usually just turns into, a discourse on modern life. And the majority of bands you're interested in are much more interested in talking about their wah-wah pedal, and sometimes, especially me and Richey, we haven't got much interest in talking about things like that.
I mean, a lot of the interviews we do, they never talk about the songs or the music at all. It's just never even mentioned, and most of the bands, that's all they do is the second song on the album is really good. We've got a great effects pedal in, and it's really exciting. It's just fantastic.
Well, unfortunately, James and Sean ain't doing interviews, so I don't get to talk about it.
No.
That's just the hazards, one of the hazards of being in a rock band.